do you have any guidelines for balancing tension throughout the story? So you said you can never have enough tension is what I think I might be paraphrasing, but do we want like 100% all the time, or do we want to kind of back it out and bring it in? And
yeah, there are places to back it out. And another thing I talk about are scene types, like sort of, so a kind of scene type you might use after a big turning point, for instance, is a contemplative scene where a character takes stock, pauses, reflects on what happened, and figures out what to do next. And that can be a quiet moment. And there are points in the story where you need the reflection. Right? So I would say 90% tension, 10% reflection. That's how much, but yes, there are moments, and I feel like they're fairly organic for the most part. What I find though, as an editor, what I'm always trying to scrunch out the reflection and add, like writers, they have too much reflection, too much quiet time. I'm trying to pull that out and get the other stuff beefed up. But yeah, I mean, because we did an exercise in my class this week where we wrote contemplative scenes. And one of my students said, she's like, it's like all this heart lives inside the contemplation. And I was like, oh, you're so good. But it's true that when you do finally, but you have to keep the tension high enough to earn it. Yeah. Does that make sense? So it's like tension, pause. Ooh, go deep inside, and tension, pause. So like I would say at each of, I say 4, you say 5 turning points, before or after, there's usually a period of reflection.
Yeah.
Or any major thing that happens in the story, there might be a processing moment.
I'm having flashbacks to my last manuscript, which was, like an action-y adventure space opera. But I mean, like every page, my editor was like, you're losing the tension here, not too much reflection. Like, and they were just constantly crossing out, like, cause I have a tendency with my first drafts or early drafts, I have a tendency again to over explain how the character's feeling about everything, which you want in some scenes. You want to know how the character's feeling, but I'm like, here's how they're feeling after this. And this
exactly.
And my editor's like, no, we don't
need that. Going. And that's another place where imagery comes in. So you can use the imagery to like go into a quick sensory reflection on the body, like, and then we know kind of how he felt without analysis. But there are places where it's called for. It's just, I wish that, like, the frustrating thing about being a writing instructor is that I wish I could say, here's your perfect formula, apply it, A, B, C, D, D, D. But it's more like Jackson Pollock painting, right? It's like throw some paint at it and stand back and go, maybe it's working. I don't know. Throw some more, it's layers and revision. And a lot of this stuff gets refined in revision. Most of it, I think.
If you enjoyed this video, we've got a lot more on writingmastery.com. Check the description for links to our blog, free writing tools, and more. Happy writing.